in the sky, strange encounters that defy explanation. For decades, pilots have reported sightings of unidentified flying objects that challenge everything we know about physics and technology. From eerie lights to terrifying malfunctions mid-flight, these experiences have left even the most seasoned aviators questioning reality. Today, we dive into the most chilling encounters with UFOs in our skies. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our latest videos exploring the unknown. In 2017, a group of commercial pilots from several airlines flying over the west coast of the United States reported seeing bright lights speeding through the sky at altitudes and speeds far beyond any known aircraft. One pilot described the object as cigar-shaped, moving at a speed that he estimated to be over 10 times that of his own aircraft. Attempts to communicate with the object were unsuccessful, and it soon disappeared over the horizon. Shortly after, the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, received multiple reports from other pilots who described similar sightings, all within minutes of each other and in the same vicinity. In 2004, during routine training exercises off the coast of California, pilots with the USS Nimitz Carrier Strike Group encountered an object that would later be referred to as the Tic Tac UFO. Fighter jets scrambled to intercept the object, which had been picked up on radar moving at incredible speeds. As the jets approached, the object performed maneuvers that no known aircraft could achieve, descending from 80,000 feet to sea level in less than a second, before hovering just above the ocean. The pilots tried to engage with the object, but it evaded them effortlessly, darting away at blinding speeds. The footage of this encounter, later released to the public, shows the bewildering agility of the object, leaving even the seasoned Navy pilots questioning what they had witnessed. One of the most detailed accounts of a UFO sighting in modern history came in 1978 from the pilot of a small cargo plane over Bass Strait in Australia. The pilot, Frederick Valentic, was on a routine flight when he reported an unidentified object above him. "It's hovering and it's not an aircraft," he radioed in a series of calls to ground control. Valentic described a large metallic object with 4 bright green lights hovering over his plane, moving erratically. He stated that his engine began to sputter and that the object seemed to be emitting a strange metallic sound. His last transmission was a chilling statement: "It's not an aircraft." Moments later, communication with Valentic was lost and his plane was never found. In the stillness of early morning, Flight 812 soars through the darkness, a routine journey for its crew and passengers. The pilots, experienced aviators with countless hours between them, monitor the instruments, guiding the plane steadily along its course. Outside, the vast sky stretches out, empty, peaceful, but tonight, the skies have something unusual in store. Around halfway through the flight, the captain notices a light on the horizon. At first, he dismisses it as another plane, but this light is different. It pulses erratically, shifting colors, bright white to blue, then to green. And it's moving, zigzagging in impossible patterns. Puzzled, he radios air traffic control to ask if any other aircraft are nearby. The answer comes back quickly. The skies are clear. No registered planes in the area. The light, however, grows closer. It seems to be approaching at an unnatural speed. Then, without warning, the plane's systems begin to glitch. The radar flickers, lights on the dashboard flash, communication cuts in and out. The aircraft, so solid and reliable moments ago, suddenly feels unsteady. The captain glances at his co-pilot, who shares the same look of apprehension. They're not sure what's out there, but it's certainly no ordinary aircraft. The light is now just outside the plane, pacing them in perfect tandem. It's close enough that both pilots can see details. The object isn't just a light, it has a form, metallic and polished, glinting with an unnatural shine. It hovers, then shifts to the plane's other side in an instant, moving without inertia or drag. The pilots attempt evasive maneuvers, banking the plane slightly to the left, then to the right. But the object mirrors every move. It seems to be observing, studying them. The pilots feel a chilling sense of intelligence behind its actions. Just as quickly as it appeared, the object shoots upward, disappearing into the night sky, leaving the plane's systems restored and the crew shaken, unsure if they'll ever have answers. In November 1979, a group of Spanish pilots flying over the Canary Islands encountered a bright, radiant object that seemed to hover in the distance. The pilot of the main flight, Captain Lerdo de Tejada, was on a routine flight when his plane's radar started to detect an unknown object nearby. He reported the sight to ground control, describing it as a huge spherical object with changing colors. As they watched, the object began to shift from an intense white to orange, and then to a deep red. Soon the object seemed to separate into two smaller lights, each moving independently. Tejada attempted to follow, hoping to get a better look. Suddenly his instrument panel began to malfunction, and communication with ground control cut in and out. The crew was left in near silence, staring at the vibrant, shifting colors outside their window. The object paced the plane for nearly 20 minutes before it suddenly accelerated and vanished into the night sky. Spanish authorities opened an investigation, yet no explanation was ever found. In another eerie incident in 1995, an American Airlines flight from New York to London experienced an encounter that would leave its crew and passengers unsettled. Just over the Atlantic Ocean, about 3 hours into the flight, the captain noticed a formation of lights at the same altitude, moving with astonishing speed toward the plane. The lights were unusual, arranged in a perfect triangular shape. The captain initially thought it could be military aircraft, perhaps some experimental jets, but the speeds at which they moved made that theory implausible. The lights circled the plane twice before descending and disappearing below the clouds. Flight control confirmed no other aircraft in the vicinity. Passengers who saw the lights later reported an eerie metallic glint around them, suggesting a structure connecting the lights, although it was too dark to tell for sure. Another unsettling encounter took place in 2018 when a British Airways flight from Montreal to London reported a series of fast-moving, glowing objects over the Irish Sea. The objects, appearing as bright lights, were moving at what the captain described as astronomical speeds, making abrupt changes in direction that defied all known aerodynamics. Several other pilots in the vicinity reported similar sightings. Authorities initially suggested meteors, but the description of the movements and changes in altitude did not match any natural phenomenon. The Irish Aviation Authority opened an investigation, but no official explanation has been released. In 2001, a Turkish Airlines crew flying over Istanbul reported seeing a massive object with bright lights moving erratically at an extreme altitude. Initially assuming it was another aircraft, they soon realized its size and speed were unlike anything they'd ever seen. It hovered momentarily before ascending vertically, disappearing into the upper atmosphere. Turkish radar systems couldn't detect the object, leaving authorities with nothing but the crew's detailed and unnerved testimony. Over the Arctic, in 2019, an Air Canada flight en route to Japan encountered a fleet of lights. The crew, watching in stunned silence, observed as the lights formed intricate patterns, moving in synchronization across the night sky. The lights danced and shifted, making shapes and patterns that no conventional aircraft could achieve. The lights lingered in view for almost 30 minutes before dispersing, vanishing into the dark Arctic night. Despite numerous similar reports from other flights in the area, no official explanation has been provided. From unexplained lights to massive silent craft, the skies hold secrets that might never be fully uncovered. As each new sighting adds to the mystery, one thing is clear: there's much more to our world than meets the eye. If you're as intrigued by the unexplained as we are, subscribe for more deep dives into the most mysterious encounters ever recorded. And don't forget to like and share if this video left you with questions. Until next time, keep watching the skies.
In the vast blue expanse above us, where the marvels of human engineering soar, there lies a hidden history of devastating encounters. Today, we explore some of the most catastrophic mid-air collisions that have scoured the skies. From the dense fog of Tenerife to the tropical vastness of the Amazon, each collision not only brought immense tragedy, but also pivotal changes that reshaped aviation safety. Join us as we unfold the events and decisions that led to these heartbreaking moments in aviation history. The Tenerife airport disaster, March 27, 1977, marks the darkest day in aviation history. Two Boeing 747 jumbo jets, one belonging to KLM and the other to Pan Am, collided on the fog-covered runway of Tenerife North Airport. A tragic misunderstanding arose from heavy accents and static-filled radio communications. As the KLM captain, convinced the runway was clear, initiated takeoff, the Pan Am plane, shrouded in fog, was still taxiing on the same runway. The fiery crash that ensued claimed 583 lives, marking it as the deadliest collision in aviation history, albeit on the ground. The Charkhi Dadri mid-air collision. On November 12, 1996, the skies above Charkhi Dadri, India, witnessed the deadliest mid-air collision involving two fully airborne aircraft. A Saudi Arabian Airlines Boeing 747 and a Kazakh Aviation Il-76 cargo plane collided, killing all 349 people on both flights. Miscommunications between the air traffic controller and the Kazakh plane, which had a language barrier, led to the Kazakh aircraft flying at the wrong altitude. This tragedy highlighted critical issues in international aviation communication standards and led to reforms in air traffic control procedures worldwide. The Überlingen mid-air disaster. The night of July 1, 2002, brought a devastating mid-air collision over Überlingen, Germany. A Russian Bashkirian Airlines Tupolev Tu-154, carrying mostly children, and a DHL Boeing 757 cargo jet collided at 35,000 feet. The collision, which claimed the lives of 71 people, was caused by a delayed reaction from the Russian crew to Automated Traffic Collision Avoidance System (TCAS) instructions, compounded by confusion and a single air traffic controller managing 2 radar screens. This disaster spurred enhancements in air traffic control technology and mandatory adherence to TCAS warnings. The Amazonas mid-air collision. In the skies over the Amazon rainforest on September 29, 2006, a Brazilian Boeing 737 and an Embraer Legacy jet clipped each other at cruising altitude. The Legacy jet managed an emergency landing with its winglet damaged, but the Boeing 737 spiraled into the dense forest, killing all 154 people aboard. This collision was attributed to a variety of factors, including transponder issues on the Boeing and airspace mismanagement. It prompted Brazil to overhaul its air traffic control systems and procedures to improve safety in its airspace. The Grand Canyon collision. On June 30, 1956, a United Airlines Douglas DC-7 struck a Trans World Airlines Lockheed Super Constellation over the Grand Canyon. This collision, which killed all 128 people aboard both flights, became a pivotal moment in aviation history, underscoring the urgent need for robust air traffic control systems. The United States subsequently strengthened its air traffic rules and control infrastructure, paving the way for the modernized air traffic control systems we see today. The Zagreb mid-air collision. On September 10, 1976, a British Airways Hawker Siddeley Trident and an Inex Adria McDonnell Douglas DC-9 collided near Zagreb, Yugoslavia. A miscommunication error by air traffic control led the DC-9 into the flight path of the Trident, resulting in the deaths of 176 people. This catastrophe brought to light the critical need for enhanced communication and coordination between international air traffic control centers. The Cerritos mid-air collision. On August 31, 1986, an Aeromexico DC-9 aircraft collided with a private Piper Cherokee over Cerritos, California. The DC-9 crashed into a residential neighborhood, killing all 67 on board and 15 on the ground, with the Piper also losing its 2 occupants. This crash led to mandatory restrictions on small aircraft flying near busy airports and the introduction of more rigorous air traffic control protocols in the United States. The Miller Field mid-air collision. On December 16, 1960, a United Airlines Douglas DC-8 and a TLA Lockheed Super Constellation collided over Miller Field, Staten Island, New York. This first major airline disaster involving 2 planes in flight resulted in the deaths of 134 people. It prompted significant changes in air traffic control and technology, including the implementation of radar-based collision avoidance systems. The San Diego mid-air collision. On September 25, 1978, Pacific Southwest Airlines Boeing 727 collided with a private Cessna over San Diego, California. The crash killed 144 people, including all on the commercial jet and 7 on the ground. This disaster was one of the contributing factors to the Federal Aviation Administration's decision to enhance radar monitoring capabilities and enforce stricter air traffic control measures to manage airspace more effectively. As our journey through the harrowing tales of mid-air collisions comes to an end, we are reminded of the delicate balance between human ambition and the unforgiving laws of physics. Each story we've shared today serves as a somber lesson in the importance of vigilance, communication, and technological advancement in aviation. By understanding these past tragedies, the world of aviation continues to strive for a future where such disasters are relics of history, ensuring the safety of all who take to the skies.